Hi, I am Eduardo Rote and this is from Caracas. Today we have Mr. Luis Núñez. He's a representative of the Supreme Electoral Court of Bolivia and also a notary in the last elections. My first question is, how many people vote in Bolivia?
Bueno, muchísimas gracias por la gentileza. In
Bolivia, the electoral roll is made up of roughly 6.5 million Bolivians who were eligible to vote in these past 2014 elections.
De una población total
en Bolivia de 10 millones de habitantes.
And a global population of?
Out of a total 10 million Bolivians living in the country and the 2 million living abroad.
So these 2 million Bolivians who live outside of the country, normally economically migrants or economical exiles, is this the first time they vote? ¿Es la primera vez que votan?
Sí. En algunos países ya hubo una experiencia. En el caso particularmente venezolano.
In some countries, the process of voting from abroad had already been carried out, but in the Venezuelan case, this is the first time Bolivians here will have voted in a Bolivian election outside of Bolivia. This year, approximately 650 people between residents and students living here participated. It's a small number, however, the number has a historical importance because it recovers the historical memory of our two nations. It was the liberator, Simón Bolívar, who was the first to devise the concept of a Bolivian constitution. Following the fundamental principles of a republic with the divisions of power, the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary. It was the liberator who introduced the electoral schools in the first Bolivian constitution. So the present day is recovering this legacy. Today, in the Bolivian constitution, the fourth power is the plurinational electoral body.
Es el órgano electoral plurinacional.
Which is the country with more Bolivians outside of Bolivia?
Bueno, hay una colonia boliviana muy grande en Argentina.
Well, there is an important Bolivian diaspora in Argentina because we share a border and so many Bolivians have settled in Argentina, raised their families there, and today make up a numerous community. In Buenos Aires alone, there's a community of 80,000 Bolivians. Spain is another important country for Bolivians, and the United States as well. It is undeniable that the original reason for migration was an economic one and the lack of employment. However, Bolivia has worked to pay back its social debts, impulsed by Bolivians with a new social awareness who know that it's not just about leadership, it's about the will of the people. History is made up of the people, not the leaders, and that is what can impulse any given process or what can make it sink.
Why the Bolivians didn't vote in the past, when they were living abroad?
Bueno, por un lado, porque crónicamente había un estado débil económicamente.
Well, on the one hand, because the state used to be chronically weak economically, a country with a wealth of natural resources, but which lived in conditions of poverty, which meant that the visions of the politicians at the time were only focused on the Bolivians that lived in the country, whereas the Bolivians that lived abroad turned into immigrants without any support. The new constitution today takes into consideration another reality. Really, it is the Bolivian that has come to evolve, but it has not been an easy journey. There have been sacrifices, blood has been spilt, facing an infinity of obstacles, all leading to the eventual evolution of democracy, which is why today in Bolivia we can speak of what we call the intercultural democracy. And this is very interesting because intercultural democracy is the meeting of three different kinds of democracy. First, representative democracy expressed through universal suffrage. Second, direct democracy, wherein the Bolivian can fiscalize and follow through with his or her vote via direct participation. Both of these forms are linked by the tool that is the referendum of the citizens' initiative and the revoking of the person in power. So it is the president fails to live up to expectations, he can be revoked from his position as anyone else who has been chosen via elections. And the third form is the ancestral form, which is a historical duty of Bolivia with our ancestral peoples, with ourselves, because we are an indigenous people, and we are proud of that. We are Indians and proud. And so we respect communitarian democracy, which is a tradition of our peoples, with our own form of organization. Through assembly, for example. We also respect the organization of Afro-Bolivians, who also make up our country and customs.
What do you need to vote in Bolivia, and what you need to be elected in Bolivia?
Puede ser promocionado.
Well, you can be promoted by a political party, but that is no longer an exclusive concept. A party can be a social movement, a communitarian organization. There are many ways that people will organize themselves in order to impulse a leadership, united thanks to the law, which is also a form of social accountability, of being a government watchdog, which is not just a slogan, it really is put into people exerts with joy. And not to speak ill of anyone, but here compared to other parts of America, we are the culture of life, of peace. It's such a shame that there is a culture of death, something with which we do not identify at all. With this world, which is so beautiful, why can we not share it? This is why we feel identified with our Venezuelan brothers, because like them, we do not share what we have left over, but what we already have. If there is one bread and we are two, we share it between us, or if we are four, then between four. We all eat equally. That is what the good life means.
Bolivia is in the avant-garde of the rights of the earth by law, the rights of the earth, the rights of the Pachamama. How important is the ecological issue in the elections in Bolivia, in the political elections in Bolivia?
Sí, esto es cierto, es decir, en el sentido de que hay una ley de la Madre Tierra, una ley de protección.
There is a law for Mother Earth, a law that protects nature, because nature can do without us. We are not necessary, but if the environment is destroyed, then it's all over.
Si la naturaleza es destruida, ahí se acaba todo. Lo que dice la Pachamama es porque la tierra nos da
the Mother Earth gives us the necessary resources for all of us to enjoy. There still isn't a scientist who is capable of creating metal or producing gold. There isn't. It is nature that does, like oil, which is an absolute natural phenomenon. So the Mother Earth is a fundamental necessity, and it must be protected. And in Bolivia, a law has been outlined to do just that, because it is a live element. The plants, the beauty of the plants after a rain falls, and we thank nature for that. We can even communicate through plants, their smell, their color. So the law is a recuperation of our own essence, and for the human to know it occupies a space which needs to be taken care of.
De hecho, podemos comunicarnos con las plantas, su olor, las flores.
In these past elections, many people came together and took part as an environmentalist movement. But of course, in general, our indigenous people are part of the earth. In Bolivia, if you are making a toast amongst a group of friends, you spill a bit on the ground for Mother Earth. It is a simple and heartfelt token of ours to Mother Earth.
Pero indudablemente es parte de nuestra esencia también, nuestro pueblo originario son parte de la tierra. No se olvide que en Bolivia antes de sembrar se le da a la tierra. Cuando uno brinda, las primeras gotitas es para la Pachamama. Entonces recién uno toma. Esa es una forma sencillita, amorosa de que nosotros amamos a la naturaleza, ¿no?
How long is this term of Evo Morales, this new term of Evo Morales in the presidency? And is there the possibility of another term?
Sí, según la Constitución, la nueva Constitución boliviana en vigencia, son 5 años de mandato del presidente elegido.
According to the current constitution, the president can fulfill a 5-year term, while the law also stipulates that he or she can only be re-elected once. They cannot be elected 3 times in a row, although they can present themselves later on.
Pero la exigencia, digamos, de nuestra Constitución dice que una persona puede ser reelecta una sola.
In the case of President Evo Morales, it was questioned whether he could fulfill a 3rd mandate.
En alguna medida se cuestionaba, digamos, de que
However, the Supreme Electoral Court, as the judiciary, has determined that during the term of Evo Morales, a constitutional assembly took place, and so Evo gave up his power as president during this time.
Constitucional, de que indudablemente como hubo un proceso de la Asamblea Constituyente, entonces los años que había estado ejerciendo el mandato del presidente Morales, él entregó su mando, de manera que acortó
which
su
meant
mandato.
that his term in office was officially shortened. Then he came to present himself again in the elections with the new constitution in effect.
So this will be his 2nd term.
And so this will be Evo's 2nd term, as outlined by the new constitution.
We had this election process in Bolivia. We also have elections coming in for the runoff in Brazil, Uruguay. It's a lot of elections going in Latin America. What is the importance of this term of Evo Morales for Bolivia and for the rest of Latin America?
Ajá. Creo que, sí, creo que todos los pueblos del continente latino.
I believe all the peoples of the continent, the Latins, the Spanish-speaking people, including Brazil, is living a very important time with respect to its participation in politics.
Creo que ha habido una maduración, ha habido una evolución de la opinión pública y cada Estado se da su propia forma.
I believe the process has matured, an evolution in public opinion. While every country is discovering its own way, no government is a copy of another. At one time, people were saying that Hugo Chavez was an influence over Evo Morales, but they are processes of the people. At one time, the Venezuelan people decided to follow the leadership of Chavez, leaving the country with the social gains that we see today. And the same thing is happening with the people in Bolivia or Uruguay, Brazil. I think it's a way of saying we are all here. We can share together this world. We don't need to bomb each other or kill each other. That's why I believe it is important, the participation of the people as well as these specific leaderships.
Es por eso que le digo que es importante esta participación y estos liderazgos, aunque esa cultura de la muerte dice, no, estos son los...
Although the culture of death says we are the terrorists, the anti-capitalists, no, we appreciate a great deal the North American people. We believe they are a humble people, a hard-working people, and there are many Bolivians out there, and so they are also welcome here as long as they come in peace and fraternity. Why do they need to come with helmets, bombs, and things like that? No. Come with nice things like seeds. Let's share together this beautiful planet. So that's what I believe is the situation in this continent.
Agarren su bomba y no vengan con cosas bonitas, con semillas, vamos a compartir esta tierra tan hermosa. Entonces, eso creo que es la situación en todo el continente, ¿no? La realidad.
Well, thank you very much, Luis Núñez, for this interview. we wish the best for the Bolivian people and all the peoples of Latin America. And we hope to have you soon again.
Okay, muchas gracias.
Pleasure. This was from Caracas.